On today's episode of the Cryptoverse Market Roundup, we are joined live by Matty Greenspan, Senior Analyst from eToro. I've got him lurking on Skype. We're going to get right into the Market Roundup right after this, so stay tuned. Dash is the privacy-focused digital currency that offers transactions with instant confirmations. Its unique, decentralized decision-making and self-funding system make it an ideal choice as a stable and secure digital cash. Click the link in the video description to learn more. Hi there guys, and welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of, in this case, news and commentary on the markets and around cryptocurrencies. I'm also the founder of Cryptoversity.com, the online school for Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. You can find out more at Cryptoversity.com. So now we're going to turn to my guest for today. I have Matty Greenspan. Matty, you can take yourself off mute now, mate. Matty Greenspan is Senior Analyst at eToro. eToro is one of the world's leading social trading platforms. If you're an amateur trader and you want to follow a professional trader and watch their trades, copy their trades, they've got a whole suite of tools that you can do this with. So Matty, welcome to the Cryptoverse, mate.
Hi Chris, hi everybody.
So
Having
Matty,
a good day?
Yes, I'm having a very good day. How are you doing?
Perfect, thanks for asking.
And done any trades today so far?
Just a few.
Oh, you have done some already? Okay. I didn't think you'd say yes to that, but there we go. So
Yeah, I'm a trader.
yeah, of course you are. Of course you are. So what Matty has agreed to do with us today is do a bit of live market analysis. Matty, I don't know if you've seen what I do in the market roundup, but I look at coin market cap and then I look at just the top coins in terms of technical analysis. I mean, as a professional trader, I'm sure you have some kind of daily routine that you go through. Do you have something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm also, as I've shared with you before, I'm writing a market roundup, which covers both the cryptocurrencies and the traditional market, stocks and commodities. I mainly like to look at things that are very big in nature, so the macros, geopolitics, how they influence the markets, those type of things. Definitely also looking at coin market cap as probably the same website you are, coinmarketcap.com. We actually have a partnership with them, so we have every once in a while you'll see the eToro banners there. But that's one of my favorite websites, just to check what's happening in the crypto world, so you can see very clearly the market cap of all cryptocurrencies there at the top. Bitcoin's dominance, and just to look at the top 10, see what's moving, what's up, what's down. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So with them, the reason I like CoinMarketCap, there's a few other sites that rival them, but they feed the data in live, so the prices are always moving. And for me, I sort of want a snapshot so I can see intervals from a 124-hour period to the next, which is why I use that one in particular. So
yeah,
cool.
I find it very helpful for altcoins as well, because if you're looking for a specific altcoin or something, you can always just go and find out where it's trading at and what the volumes are like, very quickly, and it's just a bit of a snapshot there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. I'm just checking the stream here. Looks fine to me. So can we look at some chart analysis or something like that? Have you got something to show us?
Yeah, sure. Let's take a look. I'll share my screen here. Okay. Can you see my charts here?
Yes, indeed.
All right. So what I'm looking at here is the new eToro Pro chart, which is where we're beta testing at the moment. Mm-hmm. What I like to do is just to have the same currency in 3 different time frames, and you can keep the one symbol for each currency. So let's just take a look at Ethereum, and here you should have a daily, 30 minutes, and a 1-minute chart. Mm-hmm. Which gives me a good the daily is the entire ramp, right? We can see from $1 to $4.25, and what I noticed here is we've got some kind of a nice support line rising. Let's say if we maybe zoom in on that one a little bit.
What's this, Ethereum against the dollar, is it, or against Bitcoin?
Ethereum USD, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll just draw a little line here, which is the support line. A lot of people have been noticing lately. See what I'm talking about? Had trouble getting up over it yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, but today has no trouble crossing it.
Okay. So I noticed that you don't have a lot of lines saved on your charts.
Nope, I'm a purist. I like things clean.
Really? Because I tend to
Yeah,
save quite a few lines on mine.
yeah. Yeah, I think that sometimes I'll put a moving average or something just for context. But I think the support and the resistance lines, as far as the technical analysis, is really all you need. I like to rely more heavily on fundamentals, so what's happening in the markets and why things are moving, what the general sentiment is. Check either the eToro network, what people are saying about it, or on Twitter, or various Facebook groups that I'm in, those type of things.
Okay. So how then do you, because the reason I would put all of my indicators and whatnot on the chart is to, when I make a trading decision, I would use those indicators to determine like my entry and exit points.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
would you do that at that point, or what?
Well, I'll use the technical analysis for that, but like I said, it's mostly just the support and resistance line. Um,
Is that
I've gone through all the indicators, so I've been in the markets for a very long time. I haven't found one that I particularly am attached to. Each one tells you a little bit of a different thing, so it depends exactly what you're looking for. I think the most common one that I use is a moving average. Once in a while, it's a Fibonacci retracement line. But I think that momentum indicators like the ADX or the MACD, I think, are fairly irrelevant in the cryptocurrency markets because you can tell when things are moving.
Okay. I also noticed you have 3 Ethereum charts in front of you there. So what's that showing, and why do you use 3?
I like the try view because it gives you different time frames.
Okay.
So this one usually I'll keep on a daily chart. This is a 30-minute chart, and this is the 1-minute chart. The big one is the 1 minute, just to see what's happening at the moment. And then I can just I have this layout saved, and I just cross back. If I want to go to Bitcoin, so it keeps the same time frames. I've also been trading the pound dollar pretty heavily since the election. So you can just bounce back and forth, or if you want to see like Litecoin, or for example.
Okay. So
Right.
you'll generally show like a crypto against the dollar, because I think some people who are pure crypto traders will use Bitcoin as the base and then trade it against that. But I always do it against the dollar because that's still the unit of account that we're using globally, right?
Right, right. When you trade the altcoins, for example, a lot of them are traded against Bitcoin. But trading on Bitcoin or Ethereum, I think the entire idea of what we're doing here is trying to replace, fiat money. So let's trade it against the dollar, right?
Sure, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So can you take us back to the Bitcoin chart there?
Yeah.
Where's the price coming from with this? Because I know sometimes the prices differ across different exchanges and whatnot.
You mean on the eToro network?
Yeah.
Of course, we are a market maker as far as the pricing that we provide.
Of course, yeah.
We're looking at several different exchanges, and we use kind of an average, which includes several other factors about the exchange, just to make sure that we're not thrown off by minor market movements like we were discussing, what happened in Coinbase, those type of things. We have our finger on the pulse about them.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's actually probably better, because then if one of the exchanges gets out of whack, um, it won't misrepresent itself. You know what I mean? Because if
That's
you've got an aggregate.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yes.
So we use kind of an averaging price, but we throw a few more things into the algorithm. We're constantly developing it as well. I mean, the traditional markets, they don't move like the cryptos do. So seeing those type of flash crashes, we had one a few weeks ago on Kraken that took the price down to about $26 a share, a coin, and our dealing desk really had their finger on the pulse. I think it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. Somebody spit out their coffee and said, no, something's happening here. Something's wrong. They actually managed to freeze the price at about $76. So that was we basically froze execution on all orders, waited for the price to stabilize, and then got back into it once the price had come back to that level.
Wow.
The thing that happened on
stepped out of the market while it was crazy.
Exactly.
Because obviously it was a problem, right?
Our dealers realized that there was an issue. They basically just froze all execution until the issue was resolved. They understood that it was going to be a temporary flash crash, and it's exactly what it was. They read it completely correct, and saved a lot of our clients from getting stopped out on that day. The issue that happened on GDAX actually didn't affect us whatsoever. I was very, very proud to see that we didn't even have a dip. I mean, some people, the price was actually traded as low as 10 cents per coin on Ethereum. For us, it just remained stable, and you can see it see it even on
just
short-term
to make sure the
chart.
audience is still with us here. So you're talking about GDAX, which is Coinbase's professional trading platform, and I actually covered it yesterday. So I suppose the reason they call it a flash crash is because the flash means it happens so quickly, and like with GDAX, it came right back up again, I think within either minutes or hours of it happening.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see our price charts were not even affected. Nothing below 300, and I think 309 was traded. 305 was traded on eToro.
Okay, so that's still well within the range of normality that we've been seeing recently.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the scary things about the ICOs that we're seeing, right? This idea that you can create your own cryptocurrency that's based on the Ethereum network is incredible, and I really see this as the internet's finding a way to fund its next phase of development, which is an incredible thought, if you ponder it. But what ends up happening is you have to, what people a lot of the time don't realize is that a lot of these ICOs, they're startups.
Absolutely.
And startups are extremely risky. Here in Tel Aviv, we have a lot of startups, and I think the success rate is probably below 3%. True that by the time many of these companies get to the ICO stage, a lot of them have very good teams. A lot of them have done significant development on the test net before creating their own token. But what happens, you have to think about the what if. And, as far as I understand, what happened on GDAX the other day was somebody who had a very large amount of Ether in his wallet just basically placed a very large sell order, essentially taking out the entire buy side of GDAX's book in a single click of a button, and that's quite a scary thought.
Right. So they wouldn't necessarily have. So you say that he may have taken out, he or she may have taken out the entire buy side. So can you? Is there a way you can show a what do you call it? A depth chart to the audience?
No, I don't have anything like that on. We don't have anything like that on eToro.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, we're a market maker, so we're providing the pricing. But what I can show you is the eToro sentiment on Ethereum.
Okay, sure.
Which has been pretty consistent since we launched Ethereum in February for trading on eToro. And you can see right here, Ethereum on my watch list. 99% is buying.
Okay, is that amongst the crowd of traders on eToro?
That's among everybody who's got a position on Ethereum. Yeah,
Wow.
excluding copy positions.
Excluding copy positions, right? Yeah, because that doesn't really
Yeah.
count, is it?
Right, right. No,
Yeah.
it's the sentiment is basically counts anybody who has a pure position. So it also excludes if somebody's hedging, has one buy position, one sell position. So
Okay.
anybody who's in a pure buy or pure sell position is going to be counted, and then we give you the percentage of the total.
So 99%, I mean, that's pretty much a consensus amongst the traders there.
Yeah,
That's
Bitcoin is 96%, and that's pretty low at the moment.
wow.
Yeah,
That's really, really interesting.
yeah.
Are you guys just supporting the Bitcoin and Ethereum right now?
At the moment, we have Bitcoin and Ethereum available for CFD trading.
Hmm.
We do plan on introducing more. I showed you Litecoin, which is already on the platform. It's not tradable yet. We'd like to do is to actually create. See, the issue is that if we opened up Litecoin for trading today and just let everybody have at it,
Yep.
we have such a huge demand that it would very likely create a liquidity crunch in the market, which could lead to an asset bubble, which is not something that we want to see. So what we're planning on doing is to have a few of the cryptocurrencies, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, Ripple, into what we call a copy fund,
Yep.
where people can just copy six of the top cryptocurrencies by market cap, and then we'll allocate it evenly across each one of them. That way, we can build up the liquidity in a gradual fashion, and then later on be able to offer it for individual trading.
So would that be where someone would deposit US dollars in their eToro account, but wouldn't have to mess around with getting hold of Litecoin, but they could still have exposure to the gains?
Yeah, so that's if somebody believes very strongly that cryptocurrencies are the way of the future, and they want to make an investment which is more diversified than taking a risk on one single cryptocurrency,
Hmm.
then they can just make that investment, let it sit, and then we'll automatically, on a monthly basis, we do a rebalancing of that. So if one of them has gained in their market share, that will represent a larger part of the client's portfolio. If one has lost market share, it'll be phased out.
Right. So you guys draw a distinction between the copy fund and the copy trade, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So we have the copy people.
Hmm.
You can see um, this is a guy you might have heard of him already. His name is Jay Smith. He's in the UK. He trades a lot of cryptos, 275% annual return,
Hmm.
which is simply incredible. And he's got about 6,000 people copying him on real money. Alex Plesk is a virtual god in Russia at the moment. He's got 3,500 copiers. He trades cryptos as well, but usually a bit less. He's got a lot of Russian equities in his account and in his portfolio. So this is basically the copy trader. So you're copying an individual. And then we have the copy funds. So the copy funds are designed to be a bit more diversified. So we have trader copy funds, which basically copies a slew of different traders based on their parameters. So we have active traders, which every 3 months runs an algorithm which is designed to pick up the traders who are most likely to be successful in the coming quarter. The risk is much less because you can have, hundreds or even thousands of individual positions, which gives you an incredibly diversified account. And even let's say a 20% annual return is, not something that you'll see, let's say in Bitcoin. Bitcoin we can see hundreds of percent, or in the cryptocurrencies. But for an incredibly low risk investment is quite outstanding, actually.
Okay, so that's the bit I didn't understand about that. With copy people, you just copy one individual, but with a
hmm
fund, it puts a bunch of traders together and then splits you across them.
That's correct. Yeah, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
top trader copy funds. We also have market copy funds, which are more thematic. So, for example, a cryptocurrency market fund has only Bitcoin and Ethereum,
Hmm.
and then, like I mentioned, we're going to have the crypto fund, very shortly, which will have 6 different cryptocurrencies involved. But you can see the other ones, a lot of them are based on stocks or ETFs. And then we have partner copy funds as well. So if somebody has an idea for a fund, or a fund manager wants to manage their, somebody who has a $1 billion hedge fund, who we have several partners like this already, want to have it available through the eToro platform. They just give us the specs. In a lot of cases, we'll even add a specific asset just for them. If they're looking for something specifically to add to their portfolio, we'll put it in there for them.
Gotcha. Can you scroll back up a little bit there? There was something that was themed. There we go. Food and drink panic mode. What's that one?
Yeah, panic mode is one of I created. Is basically if the world is in a very deep trouble, you buy gold, you sell the stocks, buy gold and silver and
Okay.
stuff like that.
That's clever.
It's designed to perform poorly when the market is doing well, and adversely when the market is not doing well, just to go through the roof.
Wow, that's clever. That's real clever.
Yeah.
So I suppose as the cryptocurrencies get added, that could also be potentially split into smaller portfolios within crypto.
Certainly can, yeah. We've seen incredible growth since we added Ethereum in February. We're seeing an incredible influx of new clients, which is really amazing. And it just gives us a good taste to go and add many more as soon as we can. Of course, we need to make sure that everything is done in a safe and fun environment for our clients.
Yes, on that, I was speaking to, is it Sharon, yesterday on Skype, and he was telling me about when, because one of the things I was discussing with him, I'm like, look, my audience, me in the crypto world, we're all big on like decentralization and keeping control of your own funds and, all that kind of stuff. So I was thinking, well, with eToro, you have to put your funds on deposit, like with your dollars or your pounds or whatever. And he said, yes, you do, but they're insured, because if eToro were to fold or whatever, you'd still have those funds insured. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But then the thing he wasn't able to answer is, how do you handle deposits of, say, Bitcoin and Ethereum?
So unfortunately, we're not able to do that at this time. The reason is that our financial regulators have not yet come accustomed to how those type of transfers work. Okay. Because we're working with the financial regulator, they have very strict rules about how to accept deposits and withdrawals. We need to make sure that the account is verified. Just like when you open an account in a bank, you need to provide a passport and a recent utility bill as proof of address. We're required to go through the same steps when accepting new customers. I dream a dream in the future where we'll have verifiable cryptocurrency methods, and then we'll be able to go to our financial regulators, like we've done several times in the past, and educate them on how these things work, and show them this is actually something that's very safe. We go through a drawn-out approval process, and I do believe that one day we'll be able to accept deposits and withdrawals in Bitcoin. Unfortunately, that's just not where we are yet.
Okay, so that's helped me clarify something there. So, when you're trading Bitcoin and Ethereum on eToro, you're same again. You're basically doing it with dollars, but you're getting the exposure through eToro.
That's correct. So when you make the deposit, you can deposit through your credit card, PayPal, or wire transfer. You can see all the methods under the deposit button. But then when it goes into your equity, it goes into your equity as a dollar amount.
Yes.
You can also see your equity. If you click on the equity button, you have the option to see it in other currencies. So it'll give you just a snapshot, just in case you want to understand your equity level in Norwegian krones, or in British pounds, or however you prefer. I'm fairly comfortable with dollars, but the individual trades, you'll see the actual dollar amount and the percentage for you.
Okay, right, gotcha. So this is actually, it's probably more straightforward to understand the gains and losses in this regard, because if you just treat Bitcoin and Ethereum as a commodity in this way, just like if it were gold or silver or whatever, and just trade it like that, that's Yeah, that
That's
makes
where I
sense a
get
lot.
tripped up a lot of the time with altcoin trading as well. As have I made any gains? How do I know? What do I measure it against?
Okay.
So yeah, for as far as this is one of the things that CFD trading is really far an advantage because you can understand very well, how much you've invested, how much you've lost. You can print out yourself, a detailed account statement that shows you every single transaction that you've had from specific date to specific date. If you want to go ahead and file your taxes, it's not an issue. Everything is very clear,
Okay. Yeah.
transparent.
And can we just talk about that? You just mentioned a good point there.
Mm.
You said like if we account for our gains and losses in crypto,
Mm.
it may be impossible to figure out what our gains are. It's not impossible, but it's a hard job. So say
Yeah.
you've made 100% on your Litecoin holdings, but in that same period, the value of Litecoin has halved. You've actually broken even.
Right.
So
Right.
you're like, doubled my Litecoin, but the actual
Uh,
purchasing power of that Litecoin is half what it was. So you did a good trade or two, but fundamentally Litecoin devalued. So that's it's
yeah.
difficult to track it, and it's all happening. Everything's fluctuating in relationship to everything else. So
Right.
that's why I think we're still on the dollar as the unit of account. You know,
It's an entire universe.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
when I do altcoin trading, I like to measure it against Bitcoin. So, Yoni Asi, our founder and CEO, he's actually given me one Bitcoin in 2013.
Hmm.
So, and it was worth about $30 per coin at the time. So if I measure it in my gains in Bitcoin, so I've made about 250 to 300%. So now I'm holding about 2.5 to 3 Bitcoins worth of total portfolio.
Okay,
But
is that in
if
altcoins?
in altcoins and Ethereum and Bitcoin, all kind of stuff. Um, when I measure it in US dollars, though, at the moment, 2.5 Bitcoins is worth it's about $10,000 total. So, um, if I measure it in altcoin, it's going to be about 250% gains. But if I measure it in US dollar amount, we're talking about 10,000%. It's
Yes, so that works the
some
other way. Right? It's
something
amplified it.
something completely ridiculous. It's
Right.
yeah, yeah.
So that all happened inside the crypto world. So you took a one Bitcoin and then traded in and out of various altcoins and ended up with about two and a
Yep.
half Bitcoins. Yeah.
Yep, never. I've never made a deposit or withdrawal. I've helped other people do it. I've never made a deposit or withdrawal to fiat from or to a fiat currency,
Okay. So you only just gave you that one Bitcoin and you've traded with
and
that.
I've been running with it ever since.
Okay. You've been flipping it. That's good, mate. That's real good.
Yeah.
There was one thing I forgot to mention about going back to the flash crash thingy. Just
Hmm.
for there's a lot of people that in my audience that want to get into trading. So one thing people don't seem to understand, which you might be able to explain to us, is can you explain what is a short sell? If someone says I shorted it, what
Hmm.
does that mean?
So that's when you open a sell position. So a buy position is, what we're used to, where we buy at a low price and sell out at a higher price. A sell position is if you anticipate that the market's going to go down,
Hmm.
then you open up a sell position at a high price, and then you close out that position later on at a lower price. And the eToro platform is pretty simple. You either click the buy button or you click the sell button, if you depending on which direction you think the market's going.
Right. So you don't, in that case, you don't have to possess the thing you are selling. As long as you've got money on deposit, it's just the same.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. If you've got equity in your account, then you set the amount that you wanna invest with. You choose the direction that you think the market's going to go, and then you click the execute button. Then you'll be able to track the progress in your portfolio. You see if the position is making money or losing money, and how much based on the market movement.
Okay. And you mentioned this earlier on. How this is all accomplished is through, you call them CFDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Yeah.
a financial instrument.
A contract for difference. That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah.
does that mean,
We're
go on, you go for it.
we're working on a separate method at this time, the details of which are not exactly public, but we're working on a way that we can have more blockchain style trading.
Okay.
on the same assets. So details will develop as they come available.
Okay. With CFDs, and when we're trading in the way that we've spoken about with eToro, that does that trading activity impact the real market price, as it were, in quotes?
Yes.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we don't want to take risk on ourselves.
Right.
That would, at this point, especially in the crypto market, we would be broke by now,
Mm-hmm.
quite honestly, with the amount of gains that some of our clients are making, which is, I've been in the market for a very long time now, and I've never seen anything like this. What we've seen in the last 6 months, where a new client with absolutely little experience or zero experience can come in and make these type of gains, it's simply unheard of. Obviously, a lot of people don't necessarily realize the risks, and like we've seen with those flash crashes, in two instances already, it was isolated to a specific broker. Um, but what if all of a sudden, some ICOs go bust, or somebody figures out how to hack, the Ethereum network? Everything can go to zero. That's, it's always a possibility, and that's why this is an incredibly high risk investment.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Um, but to see this type of growth in such a short amount of time is simply, it's a very emotional thing.
A very emotional thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, anyways, to see clients come in, bring in 10,000, 50,000, $100,000, and end up with 100% returns over the course of a few months. I've never seen anything like it.
Right. Right. Yes. And that's not going to be how it is forever with crypto, right? Because eventually it's going to reach some kind of equilibrium point. But at the minute, because it's so small relative to the existing financial system, these kinds of moves are possible, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, this is because these digital currencies are coming online at such a rapid rate. Uh, there isn't really an understanding. As it gains awareness, it gains value, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
think about what's the value of a dollar bill or a euro or a pound note, the only value that you can really um, give to that is, what do people think about it, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
it's all it's all an illusion. We money is one of the biggest lies that we're told, and that everybody believes, right? It's just a piece of paper. Give it to a monkey, he won't know what to do with it.
Right.
He can't eat it. But because everybody believes that it has value, then it does have value, and you can go into a store and buy things with it. Buy a banana, and you can eat that banana. You can give it to a monkey; he'll know what to do with that. Um, as the digital currencies gain awareness and gain acceptance and regulation, which is two keys, is for something to be considered money, it needs to have liquidity. It needs to be able to be easily bought and easily sold, or easily spendable. And there needs to be a finite amount in the world, so that there's not, if there's an endless amount, and it really wouldn't work as a monetary system. And then it needs to be accepted, both by the regulation and by storefronts. So I do believe that the tipping point is we're just about to hit the tipping point from Japan.
Mm.
As you know, Japan completely legalized Bitcoin in April, and at the moment, it's being accepted in one of the largest retailers in Japan, which is Bic Camera.
Okay.
They have Bitcoin accepted signs at Bic Camera, and I've already seen several pictures of people buying stuff in Bitcoin there. Um, and it's actually Bitflyer, which is the company that's responsible for a large amount of the Bitcoin volumes in Japan, has a contract in place where they're going to bring Bitcoin to hundreds of thousands of storefronts across the nation. So the more it gets spendable, the more people are going to realize the value. Right now, the market cap of Bitcoin is only $45 billion. That's the total value of Bitcoin that's in the world at the moment. It's $45 billion. It might sound like a lot of money, but if you think about it against the Japanese economy, which is currently upwards of 10 quadrillion dollars, it's really just a drop in the bucket.
Yes, indeed. It is. Hmm. Can you show us the Bitcoin chart again? Because
Yeah.
there's what I'd like to know, because I'm fascinated by the fact that you don't keep your indicators on there, right? So
Hmm.
I'm just aware that when people tuned into this stream, we've done a lot of, because you were doing some fundamental analysis there, right?
Mm-hmm.
More the environment, the ecosystem, which doesn't necessarily show up on the chart. There may be like a spike that was caused by something in the real world, but there's no way to know that by looking purely at the chart, right? So take I mean I by default always look at the daily chart, but when you see that chart, I mean, how do you not how do you read it, but what do you see? What do your eyes snap to? Because you've obviously trained your eye to immediately see things that an amateur wouldn't see. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, a lot of the history is ingrained in my head because I've lived it.
Okay.
I remember that ramp up around Christmas time, which basically had everybody talking when it broke above 770 for the first time since 2013.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that, the subsequent pullback. I did an entire analysis. You can see it on YouTube around that time. This butterfly, I remember, was the SEC decision.
ETF.
The ETF decision by the
Right.
SEC,
And at the
which,
time, these patterns would take up the full chart, wouldn't they?
yeah, yeah. Now they're just a blip,
Right. They're just a bit.
right? At the time, it seemed like such a huge movement, right? It was $150 a coin. Wow. And by now, it's just once it crossed that level, this was a huge pullback. Happened a few weeks ago. It was probably the largest single week pullback in the history of Bitcoin. Was something like $950 top to bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The recovery, it broke out a new line, a new all-time high, and for the first time ever, broke a new all-time high without continuing to surge. Because until now, every time it breaks a new all-time high, it just goes through the roof. But actually had a similar pullback, similar style, almost $1,000 a coin pullback on it, and
Mm.
now we're hovering in the middle. Um, that's as far as the history I see. Just from years and years of looking at charts, my mind will fill in these type of support and resistance lines. Um, just something like that. That's it. Just give us support. We see where we bounce off of.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can zoom in and make them more exact. But those type of lines are more of a guidance, and everybody draws them differently, anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody might draw it like this, or try to incorporate that onto it somehow.
And the purpose of that is to get an estimate about how far it might pull back before it takes off again, right?
100%.
Yeah. So like the most recent drop, I think to me, it was right when the price was about to touch 3,000. I call that a psychologically significant number because it's got three zeros in it, and just we're used
A
to
three and three zeros. Yep.
yeah. So why the pullback though? Is that people going, okay, I don't think it's gonna break 3,000, and people sell for a profit at that point?
Yeah, markets are driven by greed and fear, and
Mm-hmm.
the cycles of which, and on the cryptocurrencies, those cycles are on steroids at the moment.
Sure. What's that big egg shape you've just drawn on the chart there?
I was just zooming. I was just honing in on what you were talking about, the 3,000, and then the pullback.
Okay, so that's not an indicator. I was going to say I don't recognize that one. You've just done it for
It,
highlighting purposes.
yeah. When I do the daily market updates, so I'll try and talk about a specific movement and have to just put it on the chart so that you can see exactly the period that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Cool. So when would you come in and start drawing on the chart? Would you, do your fundamental analysis, look at what's going on in the world, and then come here to see how the market is responding? Or do you do it the other way around? Because most people look at the charts and go, oh, why did it move like that? And then go research it.
Either way, I don't have a specific preference. So either there's a fundamental event that is happening, and I want to talk about how it affected the price, or if there's a specific technical movement. You have to really have your foot in both worlds as far as trading. I mean, every trader has, some allocation technical, some allocation is fundamental. I haven't really seen anybody who makes it work having 100% as either.
Sure.
Except maybe robots who are able to analyze news streams and do 100% fundamental, or robots that are able to analyze price movement, which can do 100% technical. But humans, we need to have a little bit at least in both worlds. I like to try and get as even a keel as I can.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. So with the bots thing, what's your take on trading bots? Are they a problem? Are they okay? Do they have their place? What do you think?
Um, Unfortunately, I'm not all that familiar with. I've never really run any bots. I mean, I've had clients in the past who've run these MetaTrader bots or whatever. I haven't
Hmm.
seen very much success out of them. I understand that a lot of institutions, Wall Street institutions, run bots, and sometimes they're successful and sometimes they're not.
Right. Right. Just like a person, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
It's all
Because it's
about
not you're not trading against
success and
machines
failure rate.
necessarily.
Right. No, that's true. We trade against well, sometimes you are trading against a machine. You trying to realize when you are, but for the most part, we're human, so we've got to understand ourselves and our limitations and what's the competition doing.
Right. On that, this was one of the last questions I had for you was on the people side. Can you put your finger on what makes a good trader? Like, I mean, what I mean by that is, what skills and what character traits would you say what someone would have to develop to be successful at it?
No,
No, you can't put a finger on it.
no, it's unique. That's the beauty of it,
Right.
because there's 10 million. There's as many ways to make money in the markets as there are traders, and everybody finds their own way at the end of the day. Whether
Mm,
it's we try to give people a leg up or some training wheels with the copy system, uh, or if it's somebody who wants to build himself a stock portfolio and they use stocks that uh, they're familiar with, or somebody who wants to get involved in this new crypto world and they got in at the right time with the right amounts. But no, I don't think. I think that everybody who's determined enough will learn from their experience to know what works for them and what doesn't. Um, I don't think that it takes a specifically cold, person, or some people will say you got to kill your emotions. I don't believe in that at all. I believe that you need to have peace of mind and understand your emotions. That's a big part of trading.
okay.
Um, but you don't necessarily need to control them. I get excited all the time, and I
So
have no
you don't
issue
need to
with
become
that.
like a sociopath.
No,
No.
no, no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. In
Right.
fact, the opposite. Peace of mind is very helpful. Understanding yourself, understanding your limitations, and understanding your strengths and weaknesses is a big part of being a trader.
So
But
practicing it, and you said see what works for you. So it's very individual.
in 100%, 100%,
Mm,
you can see it on the network, and there's so many different people who are successful in the market, and each and every one of them has a different style, a different strategy, a different portfolio, different interests in their life, their personal life, and then that reflects on their portfolio at the end of the day.
right. So if you're a sports guy, you might study the sports sector and invest in sports stocks. And I see that's where the crypto world is going to go because each
Hmm.
coin isn't necessarily a coin that is a currency. When I talk about diversifying in crypto, I talk about say get yourself one of the gambling coins, get yourself a couple of
Hmm.
the currencies, get yourself a computing coin like Ethereum, get yourself and what's the new one? Are these data storage ones like
Yeah,
Factum, for example, or Paytionary, where medical data on the blockchain type of thing. Get yourself a real estate backed coin, that kind of diversification. Do you know what I mean? So it's
sure.
yeah, that's where I think that's going to go as well. Which is where that question came from when I said eventually on eToro is that cryptocurrency copy fund going to split into like industry sectors, but all be crypto assets probably if that gets there.
Yeah. Well, look, eToro is a firm that has blockchain in our blood. It's ingrained within our in the walls of the office.
Mm,
You know, Yoni Assia has been involved in Bitcoin from the very beginning. He even managed to buy some at $1 per coin.
right.
Um, we had a spin-off of eToro, which was one of the founders of eToro. His name is David Ring. Left eToro in order to create a startup called Kolu, which is very successful at the moment in blockchain technology, where they're using the Bitcoin colored coins protocol in order to create localized currencies or use Bitcoin for specific purposes. Um, and you can see it just what blockchain has done for eToro and what eToro has done for the blockchain. It goes hand in hand. So obviously we want to go forward as fast as we can, but again in a safe and fun way that people don't get hurt in the middle.
Right, in a safe and fun way. That's a catchphrase that's come out a couple of times. I like that. If that's your ethos at eToro, then I'm down with that. That's cool.
Great.
All right, Matty, is there anything else that you think we should include in this session before we close today?
Whatever you like, Chris. It's your show.
No, just the thing burning on the top of your head that you thought was important to say before we closed. If that's
I want to say thank you everybody for watching. You can feel free to visit me on eToro or on Twitter. My handle is @MattiGreenspan, MattiGreenspan, and I'm very happy to answer any questions that you might have. And have a wonderful weekend.
And people can follow you on the platform and copy you, can't they?
Unfortunately, not, because I'm an employee of eToro. But you
Okay.
can see the trades that I have open. And if you're looking for some good people to copy, I'll definitely have some people you can check out, or you could just see the copy people page with loads of traders that are successful.
All right, nice one, mate. Right, if you could just mute yourself again, and I'll do the outro, and then we'll have a chat afterwards.
Indeed.
But for now, thanks very much for being on the Cryptoverse, mate. All right, so thanks for joining me today, guys. If you liked this episode, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Please leave me a comment below with some feedback, and of course, get subscribed. And please support the Cryptoverse by going to cryptoversity.com/podcasts and becoming a patron, or sending me a Bitcoin tip, or joining my affiliate program if you'd like to earn yourself some cryptocurrency by referring people to my online school. But that's all for today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow. That's a surprise. I've just announced that. But you'll see more announcements on that on my social media accounts, so follow me on there. But until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.